So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the DBQ. I mean, the DBQ is awful, and it will hurt your brain the most, but at the end of the day, you can make a lot of points off of it. Okay, let's talk weakness. Whose weakness is multiple choice? Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. What do we got? Weakness, SAQs. Should be more than that. Oh, his hands up. LEQ. Why do you hate the LEQ, dude?
I didn't say I hated it. I'm just not good at it.
Oh, you're so good at everything else? It's gotta be? Got it. DBQ! Yeah, the DBQ. It's just a lot of skills all in one place. Can we agree? That is not true, Taylor. I remember the Taylor I got 31 weeks ago, and the Taylor I have right now is a huge, huge improvement. Less happier, but better on your historical thinking and your historical writing. Can we agree? Yeah. Huh? Okay, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen very carefully. You people are annoying me. Please listen very carefully. We are back into content. Oh, take out your LEQs and send them to Hayden. Make sure your name's on them. What? No, I don't need your planning today. Pass them to Hayden. Please and thank you. Make sure your name's on them. Take out a sheet of paper or a sheet of notebook paper. You can put your exam review and your brain dump away. We're not going to talk about them today, but please note, your exam review is longer than the first one, yes? Did we note that? Now you know.
I picked it up. I did accidentally grab two though.
Since when are you people this chatty? I'm used to the same people being chatty. 3, 2. You should see the last one. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm warning you right now, this review is a little bit longer than your last. So I would start it a little bit earlier than your last one. Do not wait for the end of the week. It's not a good plan. It's not a good look. There is time. Use the time. The less stressed you are about review, the more you're going to retain. So let me do my job. Begin working over the weekend. Now, I am sure as hell not thinking about you tomorrow. I'm going to live my life, okay? And I'm not thinking of you on Saturday because it's Hank's birthday day. I got dinosaur themes to pull off, okay? But Sunday, I will be sitting down and working on curating all the stuff I need to get done. So get something done over the weekend, okay? So this review packet is a little bit longer. Please make that note and make that adjustment. Brain dump. No one here should be that stressed out about that one, yeah? Okay. So let's talk about what the real focus of the day is. So you can put your exam review and the little brain dump thing away. Everyone should have a sheet of paper out because I do want you to take some notes. We are looking at not the actual because I don't have access to it. We are looking at the actual formatting of the AP exam because some of you are taking a mock on Monday. Raise your hand if you're doing the mock on Monday. Woo! So today we're talking strategy. We're talking all the things. So, you need a piece of paper and the 3 of my test preps out here. Now, we're back into content. So, I do want to give you a friendly reminder. We're in week 32. Monday, you have vocab week 8, yeah? So, in case you haven't thought about that, we're back in vocab. Wasn't it kind of nice taking a week off vocab? Nothing makes these people happy. Nothing. Okay, here we go. So let's start at the top of the exam. We're going to start at the multiple choice. So I am well aware that I have a bunch of notes on the board, and you could just write down all the notes and ignore what I'm saying. But can you write them down as I'm talking about them? That'll make more sense. Yes? Okay, so let's talk multiple choice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on your mock exam, this is not your mock exam because on your mock exam, it says mock 1. This is a practice test. I made 35 copies of this test. I need 100 copies for my mock exam. They're not the same tests. Okay, they're not the same. I'm showing you this test so you can prepare mentally for your mock exam. We're going to use this test, this practice test again in the hybrid week, week 35. We'll be going through this in class together and kind of like talking through some things. You cannot take this with you. You cannot take this with you. It is mine. There's 35 copies of them, and I'm going to flip through to make sure I have them. You cannot take it with you. It's a secure copy. You cannot have it. Is everyone clear? So don't put your damn name on it. Someone did that earlier today. It's fine. I'm fine. So, May 12th is the day of your exam. You also have the mock exam, and I'm going to try to tie it as close as it possibly can, but here we go. So, for your multiple choice, it is going to be section 1, part A is the multiple choice. You have 55 questions and 55 minutes. It is worth 40% of your grade. Okay? All questions, you will have 4 choices on all of them. Now, you're more than welcome to flip through the packets, which is why they're in front of you. Flip through and look at the multiple choice section. That's why it's there. I literally made a copy of a test so you could see what it actually looks like. Just don't get ahead of me because it's going to mean less. Does that make sense? Okay. On every question, you will have 4 choices. From those 4 choices, you should be able to narrow it down to 2. 2 of them are usually pretty clearly wrong, and then you have 1 that's kind of wrong and 1 that's right. Okay, that's what makes AP tests so miserable. If you flip through the multiple choice, you will also see that all the questions are in sets. That is how I did my last review test. Yes? Isn't that nice? It makes you go faster through the test. Yes? Okay? That's what we call sets. A set is when you have one stimulus with 3 to 4 questions about it. It's a question set because all of those questions are tied to that one stimulus. Each test has between 14 to 16. Now, if a topic is covered in a set, ladies and gentlemen, okay, it is not an answer on the essays. So if you are going through the test and you see they have a question set on Tokugawa shogunate, what is definitely not going to be in the essays? Tokugawa shogunate, because these tests are perfectly balanced. They will cover every single component, like major section. If you look at your original scope and sequence, which I doubt you will, because why start now, you will notice that I tell you how much percentage of the test is on that specific thing. So if it gets used once, you'll never see it again. It is perfectly balanced. They spend all year making one test, and it's beautifully done. So, if you see it on the multiple choice, there's no way it can be an answer in your essays. Now, I'm telling you that because I want you to know that you can't just learn Champa Rice, I believe was the direct comment. All I know is Champa Rice, and what was the second thing? Trans-Saharan trade routes, and that's all I know. That's only going to be used once, unfortunately, on this test. It's not going to keep coming up. Now, when I'm creating content for you guys and I'm pulling, do you think my stuff is all equally balanced? No. Who has that kind of time? And I get paid like shit, so no. What I am telling you, your AP exam is going to be perfectly balanced. So if you wanted to, which would be a complete waste of your time, and I do not suggest, after you finish the multiple choice and SAQs, you could try to guess what the DBQ is on. It's a waste of your time, and I would just shove your face with snacks. And not do that. Okay. So, my suggestion, when you go, if you are struggling, and this is only for the people who are struggling, if you have done really well on multiple choice, keep doing what you're doing. If you feel like that's a strength of yours, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're really struggling on the multiple choice, ladies and gentlemen, please flip through the multiple choice. That's the whole reason why it's literally in front of you. Okay? If you are struggling with the multiple choice, what I would do and what I suggest is to hustle through and answer all of the questions. And then with your maybe 4 minutes left over, I would go back and go to the stimuluses you know you have problems with. From the last review test, you probably noticed I'm really bad at paragraphs, or I'm really bad at charts, or I'm really bad at images, yeah? what I would do is if you're bad at multiple choice, I would then go back to every image, everything, category you're wrong, and see if you should change your answer. Does that make sense? But it is really important that you go through the test and answer every question first, then go back. Is everyone clear? Because if you get boggled down on some stimulus questions, then you won't have time to answer the rest. Now, when we're talking about the AP multiple choice, ladies and gentlemen, you do need to know you can write on the actual test. The test you will be giving is actually a booklet. You open it, and in that booklet, you'll be flipping through. They're going to burn the booklet. Yeah, they actually burn them. It's like so hardcore. They burn the booklet. We have to return them, and then they burn them. You can write whatever the hell you want. So if you notice, who here is bad at the passages? Okay? If you're bad at the passages on the actual AP exam, I would quickly annotate. I would go through all of the questions and make sure you have everything answered. And every time you come across a paragraph, if that's your weakness, or the images, I would fold down the paper. So once you go through all of them, you can go back to the folded paper, open it up, and maybe make a couple annotations on the paragraph, and then try doing it. See if you can find a different answer with going through and actually annotating. Unfortunately, you cannot write on my weekly test because I can't make 100 copies of a test. Can we agree? It's a waste of paper, and there's only so much paper. So, unfortunately not. But on the actual AP exam, I would go through and quickly answer all my 55 questions. As I'm going through, I would fold papers and mark which ones are the prompts I historically are bad at. And then I would go through and spend the remainder of time. Ladies and gentlemen, you get one shot to do this. I would use my time efficiently, especially on the multiple choice. Every single year I have to proctor. I can't proctor my own exams. I will not be in the room when you take your exam, but I will be proctoring other exams. And I see kids who hurry up and go through content and then take a nap. And I'm just like, oh my God, don't do that. And Ren wants me to report because I usually do AP Art because most of my kids are in AP Art. Most of his kids are in my AP World. So what he proctors my exam, I proctor his exam. And he wants me to write down student names who take naps, which I would never do. But he hates it, and I hate it. Especially on the multiple choice and the SAQs, you should be using the whole time because it's not that much time. Now, if you finish the DBQs and LEQ earlier, your brain's fried, take a nap. Do you, okay? But no one should be wasting any time on the SAQs and the multiple choice. You just don't have time like that. You don't. If you have that kind of time, go back and look at the prompts the stimuluses that you know you're not good at and double check because you shouldn't have extra time that you could take a nap during that stuff. Go back and really use that time efficiently. Okay, so you're going to sit down. You are going to be in the gym. You're going to be in the gym all in rows. They have you in quadrants. Okay, you will sit down. The wait to start, you do know you have to be here at like 7:30 in the morning. You have to be here before school. You're here before school starts on the day of your exam if you're a morning exam. If you're in the afternoon exam, you don't have to be on campus till 11. We're the morning exam, so you have to be on campus at 7:30. So if transportation is an issue, you need to figure that out because you need to be on campus at 7:30. With that being said, it's a slow start to the exam because they have to distribute all the papers and you have stupid questions to answer and stuff like that. So it's a slow start for the multiple choice to even begin. You're sitting for like 40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes before you even start the exam. So the multiple choice will start. It's important that you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the clock is going to be like your traditional face clock, analog clock. It is probably not going to be digital. It might be digital. But if you don't know how to do an analog clock, you need to figure out how to do an analog clock. With that being said, they are not going to call out time to you except for 10-minute warning. That's it. You have 10 minutes. That is the only heading you will get. In your mock exam, I will also be calling out those warnings. I will be doing exactly what the moderators will be doing on the day of your exam. So you'll kind of hear the cues that I'll be putting out. but it's not a ton of help. You need to be paying attention to start and end times. It is your responsibility because it's your test. Is everyone clear on that? If you can't see the times, you have to ask for it to be clearly written, clearer and bigger. You will live and die by that clock. The biggest issue with the AP exam is the timing. Can we agree? We know the content. If we gave you plenty of time, you'd be fine. But that's not how AP does it. They want crunch time to see who can rise with the pressure and do it well. With that being said, that's why we're doing a mock exam. Because you are going to mess up on your timing. But you're going to mess up on the timing on the mock exam, not on May 12th. Unfortunately, people who don't do a mock exam, when do they make their mistakes? On the day of the exam, whatever class it is. We do a mock exam because the timing is so important. Now, in AP Psych, for instance, the timing is not that hard. They give you an hour and 10 minutes to answer 70 questions. It's rude. They give you an hour and a half to answer 70 questions. Okay? Their FRQs are a joke. They give you 2 hours to answer 2 FRQs. It's obscene. They give them tons of time. They don't give you that much time. This test requires you to know your timing. With that being said, that's why we do the mock. After you do it, you'll understand why. So, you'll do the multiple choice. It'll be 55 questions in 55 minutes. Soon as they call time, everything will have to be closed back up and put away on your desk to the floor. The transition, and you may want to make a note of this, is going to be pretty quick from multiple choice to SAQs. It's a quick transition. You're going to have to pick up the SAQ pack that's on the floor and put it on your desk, and the multiple choice will go to the floor. And they will call time. They'll start the clock pretty quick. This will be the fastest transition of the day. You are not going to have any type of real break between the multiple choice and the SAQ. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you need to eat a real breakfast. On May 12th, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you exactly what you should be eating. You need to eat carbs, you need to eat some fats, and you need to eat some protein. You need to drink some water before you come to school. You need to eat like a real breakfast. Like wake up and make yourself breakfast or go and get a good breakfast. Okay? You have to eat. You are going to hurt because your brain is going to be mush. Okay? So the transition from multiple choice to SAQ is very quick, which is why you need to have a good breakfast that morning. SAQ, pull it out. So any questions? You see how the sets will look? You see the pictures are better quality? They will be. They'll be much better quality than mine. So your SAQs, your short answer questions, are section 1, part B. Okay? You need to know you have 40 minutes to do this. You need to know that they are worth 20%. Can I have you push this way so I don't have to squeeze stuff? Okay. So this is honestly what I'm most concerned about on a administration kind of component. The SAQs I think are the trickiest, that you can get a 0 on for not doing something administratively. Do you hear what I'm saying? You and I both know, I don't think SAQs are that bad. I think they're very stingy and I think they're very specific. But administrative-wise, this is where you're going to lose points. Okay? So please listen up very carefully. You're going to see all of this either on Monday or Saturday of next week because we're doing everything as close as we possibly can to the AP structure. So keep that in mind. Okay, so for the SAQs, this will be the fastest transition. On your mock exam, it is also going to be the fastest transition. I'm going to have you put away your bubble sheets and your test, pull out the SAQ prompts, get your paper, and it will be less than 2 minutes from the end of your multiple choice to the start of the SAQs. Absolutely. That's how fast it goes. For me, for AP, on May 12th, it'll probably take about 5 minutes. The transition from SAQs to LEQs is going to be about 40 minutes. Do you see the difference? Yeah, it's a big gap. It's a quick transition. So, for the SAQs, you are given 4 questions. You must answer 3 of them. So you have the option of 4, but you're given 3. You have to answer questions 1 and 2. You have the choice on either question 3 or 4. So every kid in the country is answering questions 1 and 2. Half the nation will pick 3, half the nation will pick 4, or whatever. Okay? Now, SAQs are worth 20% of your score. You need to know, in the 40 minutes you have to do it, you have about 13 minutes. Now, if you were struggling with the 13 minutes, keep in mind you now have to add a decision into that mix of 40 minutes, which causes some issues. Okay, so let's take a look at it. So this is your SAQ prompt. Okay, so answer question 1 and question 2. Answer either question 3 or 4. Guys, you're more than welcome to open these things and look. So as soon as you open, you see question 1, you see question 2, okay? Then you have question 3 or 4. So this is my suggestion. This is my suggestion, and I would absolutely do it. As soon as the proctor says go, you immediately open to 3 and 4, okay? As soon as the proctor says go for the SAQs, you immediately go to 3 and 4. When you go to 3 and 4, you're going to read each question immediately, and you're immediately going to make a decision. And that decision does not get thought again, ever. Okay, so this prompt happens to be identify one way in which African states or societies changed as a result of spread in Islam in the period of circa 12. When you read that, do you like, hell yeah? So if you read this on your AP exam, I wouldn't even look at 4 because we've covered this 1,000 times, yes? Okay, so the proctor says begin. You flip open your packet immediately to 3 and 4, and you make that decision right there. Because once the decision is made, you're done. Is everyone clear? Do not try to plan both and see which one looks better, because that clock is running and you got 40 minutes. Read them. Respond immediately to whatever gut reaction you have. If you think you can do 4 better, do 4 better. Never look at 3 again. Now, once you make that decision, you live it. Now this is what you need to figure out, and this is why we're doing the mock exam. You need to figure out which strategy works for you. I am really good at managing my time. I'm a very efficient person. Okay? I'm a planner. I'm very efficient. I have lots of flaws, but I'm good at that. With that being said, I would keep an eye on my time, and I would plan out number 3, because I've already looked at it. I would plan it out immediately, and I would write my essay. You can only plan and write if you are watching that clock like a hawk. Is everyone clear on that? Who here is not very good at managing their time? Okay? If you are not good at managing your time, what I would do is I would plan out all of my essays and then just start writing in a huge chunk. Does that make sense? You need to figure out what strategy works for you. I'm a planner. I can manage my schedule. I would plan, since I thought about this one, I would answer this one and write out the essay. You need to figure out what works for you. The beauty of it is, if you choose wrong on the mock exam, you'll choose right for the real thing. And that's the beauty of the mock exam. Now, let's talk pragmatics. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to plan out every essay, because you need that time to pull your thoughts together. You have worked incredibly hard, and I am very proud of you. And you should be very proud of how much you know. But if you just start blindly writing, you're going to screw yourself over. Perfect example. Identify one way in which the African states or societies changed as a result of the spread of Islam in the period of circa 1200 to 1450. All of you immediately thought Kingdom of Malai, right? Sundita, talked about Timbuktu, all of those things. Goes to score.
But for me, you should really.
Let me get there, Catherine. If you did not plan out your essay and you were like, oh my God, I know this, let's start writing. You look at B, explain how one specific African region was affected by the spread of Islam in the period of 1200 to 1500. West Africa is what you were just describing. you cannot use Sundita Timbuktu twice. So the best thing is, because you planned and you didn't write a whole paragraph and kind of screw yourself over for the second one, you would notice, hey, I'm going to write about the Swahili city-states of how Islam is going to come through the Indian Ocean basin, how diasporic communities are going to rely on intermarriage, and that's how religion is going to spread and build up trade. Then I can use my West Africa Malay, Sundita, Timbuktu, all of that stuff in B. Do you see why you have to plan? Now, when I'm talking about planning, you have to understand the person you were when I met you 31 weeks ago is definitively not you. Can we agree? We had to build a lot of skills in this room, correct? How painful were primary sources? The essays, the structures, okay? All of those things have taken a lot of time and effort in teaching you the skills that are necessary for this exam and in this crazy time crunch. What you need to realize is I forced you to plan out all of your essays because I needed you to practice those skills. Yes? I wanted to see your planning. I wanted you to make the connections, kind of write little blurbs. You don't have time to do that on the AP exam because you don't have the time. That doesn't mean planning is not important. What it means is you need to focus on filling out the details. So we have moved beyond that. So what I am expecting of you on the AP exam is if you're reading this, you should be writing Sundita, Timbuktu, Malay, all of the things that come immediately to your head. Okay, you should be talking about Swahili city-states, all of those things. You should be writing down vocab terms, your big piece of evidence, and your outside evidence, yes? Okay, those are the things you should be writing down. So on a page like this, you should have 12 words down. Okay, so you're not doing big things, you're not doing a ton of information, but if you do not plan, you are going to walk into a big trap because they're trying to trick you. So read, plan it out super quick, sparse words, but you gotta plan. They're gonna get you if you don't plan. Logan.
Do we get like a paper to plan, or do we plan on?
You plan on the prompts. Yep, you plan directly on the prompts. Okay, so SAQs, you got 40 minutes. As soon as they say go, you open up to question 3 or 4, read question 3 and 4, cross off the one you don't like, and never think about it again. What I would do, since I've already read question 3, I would quickly plan out question 3. You have the decision. Do you plan and write, plan and write, plan and write? Or do you plan and write all 3? That's a decision you have to make. You need to make that decision before you walk into your mock exam and execute it. If it goes well, then I would do it on the AP exam, yeah? If it doesn't go well, we're not doing that again. We'll do another plan for the 12. Is everyone clear? So you need to kind of come up with that strategy for you. Okay, you need to know, this is the weird thing of the administrative component. If you flip, this is what you'll be writing on the AP exam. On the actual AP print, it's a little clearer to see, but these have been reprinted on the copier here at school, so it's not as clear. You can see where it says, in the absence, question 1, right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't properly write on question 1's paper, and you write question 1 on question 3, what did you get on question 1?
Yeah.
What did you get in question 3?
0.
Yup. You have to make sure you're writing the answers on the correct paper. Now, I'm telling you right now, I am not making these copies of these sheets for you because that is just so much work on me. I spent $22 on Amazon for 500 sheets of white line paper. So unfortunately, you will not be able to practice this, but I'm going to remind you before the AP exam, you are writing on where it says question 1. Okay? If you turn it over, I got a question 2. Keep in mind on the AP exam, you'll have multiple pages for question 1. It's not just one page, but I'm not going to replicate it 1,000 times, yes? But you have a question 2. This is where you write question 2. And then this is another really tricky point. For question 3 or 4, you have to write it where it has the absence of question 3, question 4, yeah? You see? You also have to mark it at the top. If you don't mark it at the top, they won't score it. Do you see how these are administratively tricky? Yup. That's the problem. So maybe make a note of this under the SAQs. These are things you should be thinking of. Now, this is not going to be on your mock exam because I'm giving you a white line sheet of paper and you'll write your SAQs on white line sheet of paper and we'll kind of go. But this is for your AP exam. If you don't write them in the correct place, they won't score them. It's a 0. If you do not bubble in the stupid bubble, they won't score them either. Do you see why these are administratively tricky and stupid? You worked all year to get there, and they're going to ding you on this scrap. Ugh. Anyway, okay? So you have 40 minutes. Soon as the proctor says start, you flip to 3 and 4. You pick a question immediately. If you like the first one, don't even read the second one. If you like 3, don't read 4. Make a decision. Begin on that one. Plan it out. The big choice you have to make is if you're going to plan and write, or if you're going to plan them all and write them all. Pick one before you show up to the mock exam. Execute. If it doesn't go well, we'll fix it for May 12th. Okay. After that 40 minutes. Yes, ma'am?
Can you like rip out the papers?
No, you can't because they're in a booklet.
Um,
They're in a booklet. You're writing in a booklet. It's not like that. Sometimes they have the prompts at the top. They usually don't, but it's in a booklet. Yeah. It's not easy. Do you see how this stresses me out, the administrative crap?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have to like look at it and like,
Keep in mind, this is true on most of your exams, by the way. Are your other teachers going through it like this? I'm just saying. They should be, because like people lose a ton of points because they didn't write it on the right stupid sheet of paper. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the 40 minutes are up. The SAQs are over. The proctor will tell you to close your SAQ booklet on your desk. You, at this point, the proctors who are 2, maybe 3, you're a pretty big exam. I think we have like 180 kids maybe. Okay, with that being said, there's probably going to be 2 proctors in there. What's going to happen is they have to collect all of the multiple choice, which is 2 things. You have your multiple choice booklet and you have your answer sheet, and they have to collect the SAQ. You're going to be sitting at your desk for a good 20, 30, maybe even 40 minutes, depending on how efficient your proctors are. This is a long gap. It's a long gap. If they allow you, I would try to bring food to your seat. I would bring crackers or something dry, nothing sticky, no chocolate because that's going to get all over your fingers. If you can bring water, absolutely. This gap while you're stuck at your desk is where you should be trying to feed your face. Once they've collected everything, which is going to take 20, 30 minutes to do because it is very cumbersome. You have to have everything. You have to check everything to make sure no one is smuggling things out the door. It's a pain in the butt. Then they send you outside for 10 minutes to awkwardly stand. Okay, so you've been sitting in your chair for 20, 30 minutes, and if they're idiots, 40 minutes. Okay, then you go stand outside for 10 minutes. When you come back in, they're going to have you sit down and pull out what will be part B of your assignments. So there's like a good 30, 40 minutes between the SAQ and the DBQ, LEQ, which is kind of nice. Can we agree? Now, in this break, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have 2 snacks. You need a sugar snack. Mine always were peanut butter M&Ms because I love them and they're my favorite and it would like motivate me, yes. And I got 5s in all of my AP exams. What? By the way, I didn't take like shit like chemistry or bio because I'm an idiot and can't do science, but all the ones I did, I got 5s. So, you need to have a sugar snack because you need to have that kick, that sugar rush to get you started on the essays, yes? You also need to have a healthy one. You need a sugar one, which would, if I had peanut butter M&Ms, I would inhale them in 2 seconds because they're my absolute favorite. You eat the sugar one first, and you eat the healthy one second because you need that longer energy to help you finish the exam. Because you're writing for between 1 hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours. So if you don't eat a snack, you are going to crumble up and die at your desk because you'll be so hungry and your brain will hurt. So you need a snack. I would bring a sugar one to get you started on the exam, get you something to look forward to, and you need a healthy snack to get you through the damn exam, and you need to be standing outside shoving your face because I doubt they're going to let you have any food at your desk. So that means while you're standing out there, instead of standing awkwardly, be like, oh my God, that was so hard. Oh my God, oh my God. Shove your face, okay? Because as soon as you go back in, you're sitting for an hour and 40 to 2 hours. Okay, so section 2 is your free response, okay? It is a block of time. It is a block of time. They are giving you an hour and 40 minutes. It is your responsibility to manage your time correctly. They are going to prompt you. They are going to say, after 15 minutes, you can begin writing. Okay? After an hour, they're going to say, at this time, you should be transitioning to the LEQ, which is hilarious. Then with 15 minutes left to go, they will say there's 15 minutes remaining, and then they will give you a 5-minute warning. Those are the prompts. In your mock exam, I'm going to say the same things. They're there to nudge you into managing your time correctly. Do not stress yourself out by the prompts. There's no way you're going to be done with your DBQ in less than an hour. You're not. Your LEQ should not take you 45 minutes because that's crazy. Okay, that's way too much time. So don't stress out, but know that they are going to help nudge you with your time management. Okay, let's look. You have an hour and 40 minutes. There are 2 questions you have to answer. That is worth 40% total, including the DBQ and the LEQ. And it has to be done with blue or black ink pen. By the way, you should bring 3 pens to all of your mock exams. Not mock exams, all of your AP exams. You should bring 3 pens and 3 pencils. All of your pencils should be sharpened and have really nice erasers, yes? For whatever exams you're taking, you should have 3 of each. Your pens should be like good old normal pens. Don't do the glittery, stupid shit. Like, just get yourself a regular pen, yes? Okay? Have 3 nice pencils, 3 nice pens in your little pouch, ready to go for exam day. Have them on your desk because things are going to go wrong on exam day. You're going to have a shitty morning. You're getting in a fight with mom. Your pencil's going to break right into it. You have to recover. You have to keep focused because you get 1 shot. Okay. So, question 1 is the DBQ. They think you can do it in an hour. Okay? You have 15 minutes. You're not supposed to write the exam. You're supposed to be planning. Sure. Okay? After the 15 minutes, they will prompt you and say you can begin writing, and you'll begin. You're supposed to write this whole thing in 45 minutes. 15 minutes of planning, 45 minutes of writing. It's going to take you longer than that, and that's okay because you have extra time on the LEQ. It's worth 25% of your grade. Question 2, 3, or 4. For the LEQ, you get 3 choices. Everyone in the United States is writing the same DBQ. Twitter, after the AP exam, is amazing. Okay, my last exam here 2 years ago is about trains. And people lost their shit, and the memes were amazing because everyone in the country is all writing about stupid trains. And it's funny. Okay? Every person writes about the same DBQ prompt. Okay? Now, the LEQs vary. Everyone will have 3 options. You get to choose which one you write. Every single year, you hear kids who tried to write 3 of them. Not my kids. But every year you hear stories of that. Do not try to do it. You only need to write 1. You're supposed to do it in 40 minutes. You're going to write it in 20, 25 maybe. And it's worth 15% of your grade. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at percentages, which one's worth more? Which one should you spend most of your time on? There you go. If you want a 5, you got to do pretty well in the LEQ. Okay. Keep in mind, if you lose points in the DBQ, you can make them up on the LEQ, yeah? If you lose points in the SEQ, you can make it up. So you need to write all of them. But it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to be... Okay, here we go. So this is what the inside of your packet looks like. Questions 2. So this is question 1, which is a document-based question. You've seen these prompt styles before. I've shown them to you. You've seen the document styles. This is exactly how it's going to be. That's why I've always put your primary sources in boxes, because that's how they present it. You don't care, but I always thought it was nice. Okay? And there you go. But the LEQ is really where I want you to look. The DBQ is exactly what you think it looks like. I want you to turn to the LEQ page. Okay? This is what it actually looks like on exam day. They're going to give you 3 of them right away. Now, suggestions. This is what I'm suggesting. You can completely ignore me. I would immediately start the DBQ. Okay? So, what I would do is, the proctor says begin. I would look at the clock and give myself an hour and 15 minutes to finish the DBQ. Does that make sense? So I would write down on my test, at this time, this is when I need to be pretty much done, so I can finish it really in like an hour and 20, right? But I've kept myself aware of the timing I need to be finishing, yes? Okay? Then I would open up to the LEQ. Ideally, ladies and gentlemen, you should be done with your DBQ in an hour and 20. That's ideal. Okay? So wherever you are, you have to have a hard stop of an hour and 20. So if they say the time is begin, give yourself an hour and 20 minutes on the clock, that's a hard stop no matter what. No matter what. You got to stop the DBQ and focus on the LEQ. Okay? Now, at that hard stop of an hour and 20 minutes where you cannot look at anything else, you have to turn the page to the LEQ, then you have to make quick decisions. Then you look at all the prompts super quickly and you pick the friendliest looking one. Read them all. In the period of 1200 to 1450, scientific and technological advances. Hell yeah! We just covered this in class. I know this so well. I would not even read my other choices. Yes? Now, keep in mind, the nice thing is, in these prompts, they always organize them by earliest to latest. Isn't that nice? So if you know you're like super good at like Cold War and like the end of the stuff, then I would go later on. But they're always organized in order of chronological. So you can kind of get a vibe from it of how they go. Then I would write the LEQ until time stops and just go. Once you make a decision on the SAQ and the LEQ, you have to live it. Do not look at the other prompts and be like, this kind of stinks, let me jump. Don't jump. You commit, ride or die, that's the one you're going for. Maggie.
Worst case scenario, what happens if you don't fully finish the DBQ?
Oh, that's fine. They'll score what you have. They'll give you points on what you have. Yeah, they'll read. If you only write a thesis, then they'll give you a point for just the thesis. Okay? See ya. What do you got?
I was just wondering, like, you know how they give you, like, multiple different choices?
Yeah. Hold on 2 seconds. I do want to show you one thing. On the top of the papers for the part 2, you have to circle 1, 2, or 3 at the top of the page while you're writing. Is everyone clear? Yes, they give you tons of sheets. You have tons of paper. I just didn't. Oh, drop your test packets on Henry's desk as you exit. Do not take my test. We're going to go through these again. We're going to see them. We're going to go through and look at questions and stuff. Don't steal them. Hopefully this was helpful, was it?
Oh my god, it's very much.
Good.
I'm packing peanut M&Ms.